In terms of weapons and what we've been providing to the Ukrainians, we've been providing a tremendous amount. We've been providing them aid since 2014, although that's been ramping up over time. The president just announced another 800 million this morning or at noon. Mostly we've been giving them anti-tank weapons, the infamous javelins, but there are also a variety of other anti-tank weapons, anti-air missiles, the Stingers that people have heard a lot about, and a lot of munitions and the supplies of war, night vision goggles and a variety of other accessories, and those are tremendously important because modern warfare chews up a lot of supplies and equipment, and you need to get a continuous flow of that if you're going to keep your forces in the field and operating effectively. A lot of people have asked about what more we might do. We're really sort of limited because we can't give them some system that they've never seen before. I've seen people suggest we should give them Patriots, which is our medium ranged anti-air, anti-cruise missile system. The problem is that it would take 2 years for them to train people up and get the logistics pipeline operating that would keep the system working. We have to give them things either that are relatively easy to learn how to use, like the Javelin and the Stinger, or that they already use. And that's, of course, the discussion about the MiG-29s from Poland. We can talk more about that. The administration's position is that we would give them ground-based air defenses, the Stingers, and I think there's talk about giving them what are called S-300s, which is sort of a medium-ranged Soviet system that the Ukrainians already operate in some of the Eastern European countries have, and that sets up sort of a bank shot, if you will. Our Eastern European allies give their old Soviet systems to the Ukrainians who can use them, and then we give them more modern systems that they can use.
I've been hearing reports that observations that except for the air attack in Western Ukraine in the last couple of days, most of the horrific destruction that's going on in Ukrainian cities is coming from ground-based missiles and artillery. And so in some sense, there's a question of whether the control of whether the Russians maybe the Russians don't have control of the skies. Maybe the Ukrainians, with whatever they've got in terms of anti-aircraft and their limited aircraft that they have sufficient control to prevent the Russians from using air superiority, or what's going on?
This is being debated in the national security community. Where is Russian air power? Because the Ukrainian still have some jets operating, not very many. Apparently they're doing about 10 sorties a day. The Russians are doing about 200, but they still have their air defense operating, and the Russians are losing aircraft. And for the first week or so, they barely used their air force, and that had everyone scratching their heads. The way the United States does these things is on the first day we can talk about air defenses, take out their air force, take out their air defense, and so that by day 3, we have control of the air and pretty much a monopoly there. But your other point about most of the destruction being caused by ground-based systems, missiles and artillery is absolutely correct. The explosions you're seeing on TV, the videos, those are mostly artillery and missiles. And what that means is that a no-fly zone wouldn't help all that much because those explosions would still be occurring.